Hey YouTube, how you doing? Mike in Detroit here again, and we're gonna take an old school song, "His Eyes on a Sparrow," and we are going to make a piano lesson out of this song because there's a lot of orange juice we can squeeze out of this orange here. We're gonna target this at late beginner, early intermediate, but it's really going to be we'll see how it comes out, but it's going to be a voicing thing, a theory thing. But the main point I want to make today, for those of you who are working on this thing called piano, is that songs have something to teach to us. It's more than just performing a song. When we study a song, we say, how did that composer put this song together? We can get a lot of insight that's useful not only in this song, but it's transferable to lots of songs. So this song has an old school vibe, by the way. I selected this song because most people know it. So let's get to work and let's see what this "His Eyes on the Sparrow," beautiful grandma song. In my generation, we sung it all the time. We're going to work in the key of F. So, since I said this is a beginner intermediate, let's figure out diatonically what's going on in the key of F. So, in the key of F, let's get some voices. Or here, F is 1, G minor is 2. Now, for you intermediates, when I get to a chord, you say, well, I know lots of ways to play that chord. You know, you can play it like this. I just made a video about this. Minor, there's that minor, well, sweet minor 11 chord. Or it could be this. So I'm on the 2 chord, and in F, G is 2. 3 chord, A minor. For your beginners, here's A minor. 4 chord is B flat. 5 chord is a C7 chord. 6 chord is D minor. That D minor 11 voiced in kind of a way that you beginners can grab it. Remember, I just did a video a couple days ago on this. D minor in the left hand, down a whole step, triad C major in the right hand. Gotta get that sound. Now we voiced it a little bit differently, but that's it at its core. 7 chord is E minor 7 flat 5. Back to F again. Okay, so now we have our ear there, we have our fingers there. Let's learn the melody of this song, and we're going to just take this little piece at a time. And you know, it sort of looks like we're learning a song, but in a way we're not. So I try to remember, just to get me on the roller coaster, from a melodic point of view, what note is it? So it starts on a C, and C is 5. So if I get there, then kind of my ear can help me. If I remember, okay, it starts on a 5, because if I want to play this in a different key, that'll help me out. So I need a F chord. It starts like most songs. This song starts on the 1 chord, so I need an F chord with a C in the melody, and the C is on on the top. Usually play with my pinky. So I can do this. I can do this. Depends on how I can do. I can do. Now this voicing here is it's taking an F chord and then doubling up with the melody with that's a pretty standard voicing over time. This voicing's been around for 50 years. If you want to get a little bit more sophisticated, you can throw the ninth in. You could throw the major seventh in. That's my personal favorite. Why do I feel? Now what's going on here? So the song went right from a 1 to a 5 back to a 1. 1 to 5 to 1. But I did a sus chord on that. Now I could play this easily like this. Get the same sound. So let's pause and see what's going on here. Anytime you want to get a sus sound, really we're going to come up with these cheats out of this song here. So we're on a dominant chord, the 5 chord. We take this down a whole step. And look at my right hand. We have a B flat major 7 over C. Little cheat. That gives us that sus sound. Now, when I'm playing jazz, I use this device all the time. Now, when I first played it like this. Same notes, just distributed differently throughout the hands. It is a C7. Now I'm thinking D minor over C7. I have D minor in my right hand and C7 shell in my left hand. But if I voice it this way, I get the same sound, but the advantage is now I can take advantage of these inner voices. And these inner voices are nice. So back to the beginning. So we have a 1 to a 5, right back to a 1. This is how this song starts. Alright, discouraged is another, we're back to 1 again. We're back to an F chord. I voiced this as an F major 9, but you certainly, if you're in a beginner, then what you want to do is play a C chord. Should know this, C to F. But if you're in the more intermediate, then you want to grab this A minor in the right hand over F. For your beginners, just play a C chord in your right hand and then resolve that to an F chord in your right hand. So far we have So far this song is telling us to go from the 1 chord to the 5 chord to the 1 chord. Now, the next phrase, the next stop we're going to make, the next pillar we're after is the 4 chord. So we have to get there. Now, I want to pause here because this is so common. So I'm on the 1 chord. And I need to get to the 4 chord. Okay, How many ways do you know how to get from a 1 chord to a 4 chord? How many ways do you know? How many routes can you take? I mean, there's a traffic jam on that street, so can you go another way to get to the same place? And can you go down the alley? Can you go, so in your pocket, you should have several routes to get from a 1 chord to a 4 chord. So let's talk about a few of them. So we had wine. Now I'm sitting on a 1 chord. I need to get to the 4 chord. The simplest way to do it is just play a 1-7. So now F7 is the 5 chord of B flat. So I'm on F, I need to get to B flat. So I'm on a 1 chord, 1-7, 4. There's one way to do it. Matter of fact, that's an old school cadence. Grandma played that all the time. So one more time. We'll talk about a little bit what to do with some voicings when we get to the 4 chord, but now let's talk about the route to get to the 4 chord. So let's see, well, we could have said we're on the 1 chord. We could do it 2-5-1 to the 4 chord. It's another way to get to the same place, different route. So we have, let's try that one. So, we have arrived. Another way to get to the 4 chord is go from a 1 chord to a 1-7, but we're going to change our bass to a 3. So we're going to go 1, boom. Let's make it a little bit simpler. Another way to get to the 4 chord. Now the other way is, I'm going to mention this, I just made a video on these minor 11 chords. So we can do, and then we can do this. Or we can do this. Here's that minor 11 sound. Tritones, and that gets us to this B flat chord. Get a little sophisticated there. It might not work in this song because this is kind of a gospel-y, not a jazzy. Well, it depends on how you hear it. My point is, let's pause in these segments and figure out, are we really stocked up? Because that's transferable somewhere else outside of this song. Again, 1 chord, 4 chord, back to 1. Now I gotta get to the 4 chord some kind of way. Notice that I'm squeezing everything I can get out of this beautiful song because I don't mind hearing it 500 times. Look at my right hand. I have a quarto voicing in my right hand. Now, if I played a regular B flat, you might want to have your paper and pencil and notebook out because I'm going to throw as much as I can think of at you. just gives you a different sound. Because I'm on the B flat, and that C gives me that delicious ninth, or sus2. Now for you beginners, just play B flat in first inversion, you're good. But if you want to get a little bit more, you can actually play both of them. Like use your thumb, you can do that. Now we're gonna this next phrase is we're on the 4 chord, and we talked about how to get from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Now usually we got to get from the 4 chord back to the 1 chord some kind of way. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna throw a diminished chord in there. Now that is a cadence you want to know in a bunch of keys. 4 chord, sharp 4 diminished, 1 chord over 5. Just isolate that and find that. And now you want to find different voicings for that if you want to. So we got a 4 chord. So 4 chord, 4, sharp 4 diminished, 1 over 5. I think I voiced it 3 different ways, and I played it 3 different times. But that cadence is what I'm after. So we went from a 1 chord to a 5 chord, back to 1. Now some kind of way we got to the 4 chord. We have this new cadence. We have this. There's that sharp 4 diminished. To a 1 chord with a 5 bass. 99% of the time when you see that cadence, you're going to the 6 chord. And why? So let's stick that onto that same cadence. 4, sharp 4 diminished, to a 1 over 5, and then to the 6 chord. Just stick all that together, make a little cadence out of that, and learn that. If I were you, I'd learn that in all the keys, especially if you want to play old school gospel. Why? Now the 6 chord hangs out for a while. Still on the 6 chord. In 6 chords, when we get to lonely, now we want to get to 2 chord. That's kind of the melody is taking that to that 11th sound again. That F chord down to B flat, all over a G bass. I can actually get up here and get a 10. Ooh. Now you more intermediate or advanced folks would want to play this. Oh, sorry. So let's get that segment. We were on the 4 chord. We're on some kind of 4 chord. To the shadow, sharp 4 diminished, 1 over 5. 6. Why should my heart? Now we need some kind of 2 chord. But we have this. There's that G minor 11 sound. It really is an F chord over G minor. Let me just do it this way. And that C is going to resolve to a B flat. Now, just like the 6 chord hung out, let your ear guide you. The 2 chord is also going to hang out. But where's 2 chords going to go? To that 5 chord. Same chord we played earlier. Okay. Now I'm on the 5 chord. Now let's voice that. We can play that as diminished. We can play that as a sharp 1 diminished over 5. Or lots of ways we can play that 5 chord. Now that's also a 5 chord. And now the 5 chord wants to go to the 1 chord. Very typical. So we have kind of the A section kind of done, but we're squeezing out theoretical information that we can steal and put in other songs. Start from the beginning. Let's do it this way. Okay, so now we're at the part that says, when Jesus is my portion. And now the song is going to get fairly dramatic. There, I'm on a 1 chord, so let's find a voicing line. So just like the beginning, we're going to go that 1-5-1 cadence. Depending on what church you're in, you might hear this a little different. There's that 1-5, that 1-5-1 cadence, just like we had in the beginning. Now we have another 1 chord. Now we're going to the 4 chord. This time we're going to go to. So this cadence is very similar to the beginning cadence. So we're on the 4 chord. Now let's do the 5 chord. 5 in this case is going to 6. Bass is walking up. So his I is a 5 chord. So let's do it this way. The spare. To a 2 chord. 251 to get us home. So, beautiful song, but when you think in numbers like this, now you want to play it in C, you want to play it in B flat, you want to play it in E flat, you can do it, you can figure it out. Now let's get the bridge here. Now we have I Sing. That's also a 5 chord. Figure out a way to voice that. I don't hear any. Well, let's try a sus chord. I don't hear that, so I'm just gonna go. 5 chords hanging out. Now we're going back to that 1 chord. It's good to know these chord inversions, but so let's do that again. Now that's a 5 chord. Going to 1. And then same thing, I sing. Now, can your ear hear that 1 chord just is begging to go to the 4 chord? We got a route to get there. Let's take it down. There's that 4. You tell me what I'm playing. Sharp 4 diminished. 1 over 5. Is on the, where does it want to go? 6 chord. And then a 2. So recognize these, bring out these bits of the song, because you can steal those bits, put them in different keys, and then practice them in isolation. Take that 4, sharp 4 diminished, to a 1 over 5, to a 6, and then a 2, 5, 1 home. You can find 50 songs to put that in. So let's go back to the beginning and see if once we get our head around that, now we can start phrasing it, making it more musical, putting some rhythm to it. Get the idea. So play around with those, and then take another song like that. Maybe take a song a week and see try to get in the composer's head. What would a composer thinking when they put these chords together the way that they did? And what our best teachers are the songs that we play. That's, so from these cadences, we can get different voicings, get different musical ideas. But then when you're ready to perform the song, throw all that away and just let it go. Okay, hopefully this was helpful to someone out there. Enjoy your playing. Check back with me often. I'm going to be getting a little bit more diligent, sticking some beginner, intermediate videos out there for you, because that's what this channel is all about. All right, have yourself a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.